Okay, let's dive into this. It's 2 a.m. The neon glow of your phone is illuminating your face in the dark. You are doom scrolling, flicking past thousands of videos, memes, and messages, but you aren't actually feeling anything. You aren't laughing, you aren't learning, you're just staring. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Modern culture has engineered the perfect environment to completely fry your nervous system. Cheap dopamine is blasting into your brain 24/7 until emotional silence feels incredibly uncomfortable. If you've been wondering why you feel totally numb lately, you need to pay very close attention to this explainer. This is the exact question that has been living rent-free in your head. Why does nothing hit the same anymore? You fire up a video game you used to love, and 10 minutes later, you're bored. You get your favorite fast food, and it tastes completely dull. Even hanging out with your friends feels less like fun and more like a heavy, draining chore you just have to check off a list. You are literally sitting there asking yourself, bro, I used to enjoy simple things. Am I depressed or just totally overstimulated? Let's be real for a sec. Your brain isn't fundamentally broken, and this isn't some permanent character flaw. It is a biological response. You are experiencing severe dopamine burnout. Your brain is utterly exhausted from the absolute barrage of cheap stimulation you feed it every single day. Clinically, the source material calls this anhedonia. It's a symptom where your brain literally struggles to register pleasure. But do not let this clean, sterile definition fool you. The reality of anhedonia is savage. It's not just being bored. It's a massive red flag indicating a deep, heavy disconnection from joy. It is what happens when hyper-stimulating algorithms, endless streaming, and high-speed adult entertainment hijack your reward pathways. These extreme dopamine hits lower your brain's emotional resolution so much that real life just looks blurry and gray. The data breaks down two distinct flavors of this numbness. We've got social anhedonia and physical anhedonia. Socially, interacting with human beings starts to feel completely meaningless, almost cringe, because it takes actual effort. Physically, your hobbies, your music, your food, all of it just feels like nothing. You are down bad. Think about it. Your reward system is essentially acting like a spoiled iPad kid. Because it is so used to high-speed, hyper-stimulating input, it starts throwing a tantrum and completely ignores normal, everyday life like skipped ads. High-key, it's terrifying. So how do we actually get here? The source points to these massive triggers: chronic stress, severe burnout, trauma, depression, and ADHD. Add a heavy layer of modern digital overstimulation on top of any of these, and your nervous system just throws its hands up. You are demanding your biological hardware to process an unnatural amount of digital input, and eventually the machine just gives out. Here is the hard science. When your brain is overwhelmed or exhausted, your dopamine levels take a massive dip. Your motivation drops off a cliff. To protect itself from catching fire, your mind forces your reward system into power-saving mode. It is literally your biology stepping in and saying, I cannot process one more hit of cheap dopamine. I need a break. Listen to this brutal quote from the source material. Let it really sink in. I know I should enjoy this, but I don't feel anything. That is deeply exposing. You are at a concert or on a date or eating your favorite meal, and your logical brain is tapping the glass saying, hey, this is supposed to be fun, but your emotional brain is just a flatline. Let's look at the warning signs and see how this builds. Low motivation and emotional numbness are obvious, but pay attention to that third warning sign: losing track of time. This isn't the cool flow state kind of losing track of time. This is absolute brain rot. This is swiping between 4 different apps purely out of mind-numbing boredom because absolutely nothing in reality feels engaging enough to hold your attention. The scary part? It leads to this feeling. Everything feels muted, like I'm watching my own life through glass. This is the ultimate attention collapse. It's the sensation of becoming a passive spectator in your own existence. You aren't living. You're just streaming your own life on a terrible Wi-Fi connection. I want to want things, but I can't. That is the total loss of main character energy. You haven't just lost your drive. You have lost the desire for drive. It is the absolute pinnacle of the modern brain losing its sensitivity to joy. It is completely delusional to think we can keep blasting our brains with cheap pleasure and not end up exactly here. But wait, plot twist. Anhedonia isn't permanent. I am going to hit you with some tough love right now. This state is not forever, but getting out of it requires you to wake up and take highly specific, highly intentional, small steps. You cannot just wait for this to pass. You have to actively reboot the machine.
Here is the blueprint straight from the source. This isn't generic self-help. This is biological hacking to fix your fried reward system. We're talking about micro-pleasures, prioritizing routine before motivation, introducing novelty, and enforcing ruthless rest and boundaries. Let's break these down because they are non-negotiable. Step 1, micro-pleasures. A warm drink, real sunlight on your face, a stupid little walk. No cap, I know it sounds painfully basic, but you have to understand the science. You cannot jumpstart a dead car battery with a lightning bolt. You need a gentle, steady charge. These tiny, low-effort joys are the only way to slowly restart your exhausted nervous system without instantly overwhelming it again.
Here is the biggest lie you have been sold about recovery: waiting for motivation. If you sit around waiting to feel motivated to do something, you will be waiting forever. You will stay stuck and emotionally flat. The brutal reality is that action creates the feeling. Routine comes before motivation. You have to force the behavior until your dopamine system remembers how to follow along. Next up, novelty. The brain craves new experiences. When you're stuck in an algorithmic loop of predictable digital dopamine, your brain literally goes to sleep. By introducing tiny changes, like taking a different route to work, trying a bizarre new food, or going somewhere you have never been, you are essentially shocking the dopamine system back into registering real life. Here's the kicker. You cannot hack your way out of total exhaustion. You are running on empty. Enforcing boundaries to protect your energy and actually resting without a screen in your face is vital, and a source makes it clear. If this numbness is intense and long-term, reaching out to a mental health professional isn't a sign of weakness. It's the ultimate power move to uncover the root cause. I want to leave you with a total identity shift. You are not lazy. You are not ungrateful. Low-key, your brain is just incredibly tired, and it is trying to protect you from an overstimulating world. With time, support, and gentle self-care, your capacity for pleasure will find its way back. Your joy isn't dead. It's just very, very quiet right now. I'm going to leave you with this final, incredibly uncomfortable truth to stare at. Is your life actually boring, or did your brain just become addicted to overstimulation? Let that sit with you. Because the moment you realize your phone and your cheap dopamine habits are stealing your ability to feel real joy, that is the exact moment you can finally unplug and take your life back.